Oops. Maybe you didn't know, but I don't get paid for this. Yeah, mostly because of copyright issues. Yay, YouTube. But you know what you can do to support me? Become a member on my YouTube channel. And when you do that, as a bonus, you get access to all my unedited music video reactions, movie reactions, and TV show reactions. That is, if I'm not too embarrassed to share them after filming them. Anyway, you'll see. This is my top 5 favorite albums of the year. Whoa. The best streamer in Canada. I appreciate that. Thanks. And the $sign on the S is just like your album. Amazing. Love it. Okay. So, we are here to react to Slayyyter. Which it's kind of an interesting experience. So, I once listened to, I'll say the like a filtered way, Star Effer 2 years ago when it came out. I recorded a reaction to it, which is somewhere in the vaults of my videos. But it was at the time that I used to edit the videos and, well, film them offline, do my commentary, edit the videos, and post it as this like montage rather than stream and just like drop the stream part. And because of that, because of the list of projects, and I think it was at around the time that I was having a bit more of a hard time with the motivation and whatnot, I never ended up putting out the video. Never ended up editing it to begin with. And so I recall listening to the album once, but I never went back to it because here's what happens usually. I listen to the album once while I'm recording, and then I'll listen to it again as I'm editing the video, or as I was editing the video at the time. And so I've waited until I was watching the video again to listen to the album again, and then I would do my ranking. I would do like all the, like, choose the ones that I like and add it to my likes playlist. And so because I usually would wait for the editing process to get back to the album, I never got to that part. And so I never went back to the album. So I've listened to it once and I've never gotten back to it. And I was like, one day, I'll get back to it. However, in the meantime, she already released a brand new album called Worst Girl in America. And that's what we're covering tonight. So technically not the first time that I'm listening to Slayyyter. However, first time that I'm actually like putting out a video about her and reacting to her music publicly. So that's what we're going to do. So I have an idea where we're coming from. I think there's one of her tracks that really went trendy on TikTok. I haven't listened to anything yet. I haven't listened to any of the singles yet. So this is like 100% brand new material for me. And I'm pretty excited to get into it because a lot of people have been talking about it on my channel and leaving comments about it and requesting it. So I was like, one day I'm going to get to it. And here we are. Okay, so my standouts from this are Beat Up Chanel's and Crank. On TikTok, they're saying this is the evil version of Midnight Sun because it's loud music just like Midnight Sun, but in a dark way. This is Zara's Mario and Slayyyter's Wario. That's so funny. That is so funny. Wow. And I really like I'm Actually Kind of Famous, but it's not really a normal song. Okay, let's jump into it. Let's start Worst Girl in America, starting with Dance. Why, thank you, Dalton. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Okay, I'm loving that we have a musical intro like this. I'm already excited now. Okay. Come through, intro. Okay. Oh, is that the one that's trendy on... okay, I just recognized it. That's the one I've heard on TikTok. Hey! Okay. Okay. The bass is so good. Ooh. Whoa. Thank you for the Spanish translation, Junior. Okay, hold on. I feel like I need to stand up for this. Hold on. We're going to transition into music. We're going to transition. I feel like I'm like performing. Okay. Hold on. What is that emote? What? Okay, bridge. What? Do I have an emoji of a finger on my face? What? Did you make this? Whoa. What? Wow. Okay. What a track. First of all, it did not feel like almost 5 minutes of a track. Second of all, production wise, the whole like dum 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 is such an earworm. It's so catchy. No wonder why I started hearing it on TikTok. And I do remember watching a snippet of an interview about, where Slayyyter was on a Zach Sang show. And she was saying, and I don't know if it was with this track specifically, but I feel like it might be based on what I heard. She was like, in the recording process of the song, she needed to have the very loud like reverb and delay to really have that like the feel of like, I don't know how to call it, the motion of like dragging out some of the lines that she's singing, because otherwise when it's too dry when you're recording, it doesn't give the vibe, you know. It doesn't provide like the I don't know, like the feeling that you're drunk, or that and I'm paraphrasing, I'm not using the right words either, but like, anyway, she likes, as we call it in production terms, she liked to record the vocals wet, which means with a lot of effects rather than dry with no effects, because it helps with the whole like sleazy type of feel in the vocals that she's delivering on the track. Yeah, wow, what a track. I love it. The bass and the design, that was so good. Okay. It's almost like a haunting, almost like a Thriller-esque by Michael Jackson type of melody. Not the singing part, but the synths in the back. Yeah, okay, we're off to a great start, and I love that we had a musical intro. Love that. Okay, it's a visual album. Uh-oh. Where is it available? Is it available on YouTube? Because then we might have to potentially look at that. Oh, great. Okay. Maybe later this week. I'm gonna have to note that one down. There are more songs with that description, so it can be another one too. Oh yeah, okay, maybe. That's why, like, I'm not sure if it was this song, but it's like an overall approach to her vocal recording and chopping. By the way, the emotes that you sent, Dalton, they like shocked me. Hold on. That is so funny. Did you make those? Anyway, okay, this was the fourth single. Got it. And yeah, from a lyrical standpoint, it's funny because when you look at it, there's really not that much lyrics for a 5-minute song. But it is a great intro to like, hey, this is what you started, and then we're gonna jump into the adventure that is what was started, you know. Okay, cool. So that was Dance. Let's move next to Beat Up Chanel's. Ooh. Okay. Whoa. Sort of reminds me a little bit of Iconic Pop a little bit. Whoa. She's like the opposite of me. This is like dirty. Oh shit. Okay. Whoa. It could have almost transitioned into something else after. Like imagine the same next song has the same beat and it just continues into it. Um the Okay, so hold on. There's a couple of comments and then I'll get into my thoughts about the song. Love this one. This was her first single, and she says it's her best song. I love this song so much. Oh, I'm moving. My English becomes completely fluent when you talk about like rich stuff. That is hilarious. So it's funny. It's a very loud song. It's a very like tough production with a lot of elements. Very gritty, very dirty, very representative of the imagery that we get in the lyrics, and it's really how I feel like when you're like in your early 20s, or at least for me in my case, the parties that would extend far more than it should have, and it gets like messy. This is like what a soundtrack to that, you know, running in the streets at 4 a.m. in the morning before the sun comes up, where it's like everybody's so wasted and we're just like almost like living the dream but living a very strong delusion at the same time. um it's very like I can see that scene in a movie of like just like debauchery, and this is like the perfect soundtrack for it. um so yeah, it's a very intense, like the production is really loud, which I like. I would say on a personal basis, I really have to be in the right type of mood to want to listen to the song, because usually I'd go for something a little more melodic, but we did have a lot more melody at the end of it as well, which is where it kind of really got interesting for me, because the melodies were like, I think, better stacked in my opinion towards the end portion of the song. Um, but that's just a personal taste. Otherwise, you know, the delivery did kind of remind me of Icona Pop a little bit. And at the beginning, I sort of have a bit of a like, especially because she's more like talking slash, I wouldn't go as far as saying rapping, but it almost reminded me a little bit of MIA for like a fraction of a second. And then I was like, okay, we're out of it. But just like that good like 2012. I'm trying to remember what track I'm thinking of, but it's yeah, it's quite the vibe. Um, and it's more talking. I'm sure we're gonna play around with like the vocal delivery through the album. But yeah, okay, that was quite the experience. It's really setting a mood. I can see it, but I cannot relate. That's funny. To tell you the truth, since this album came out, I listened to it maybe twice a day. Whoa, y'all really love this album, huh? Okay, I'm excited to discover the rest. Another single, if I'm not mistaken, Cannibalism. Let's jump into it. Okay, okay. I want a melody, and I'm getting melody.
Kisses me, it feels like cannibalism. Stone cold, I take what he's given. It's the DJ making moves for a living.
Oh wow.
He chat me up, he got permission. Oh, it's on, I heard he loves on. I want him on and on and on. Say now, before I'm gone, 'cause baby, this is do or die.
Ooh. Whoa. Oh, this is kind of grunge. It's like a popified version of grunge. Woo! Okay. Okay, yeah, God, give me a sign. It's really I have so many thoughts about it. The hold on, let me read the comments. So yeah, the bass, this is dirty. Bass is feeling good. The distortion was heavy. You see, some parts are more rhythmic and others are more melodic. She's everything. Oh, hey, Shapur, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. We're a full house tonight. I like this. I appreciate it. A lot of people showing up. I appreciate it. Okay, so about the track, there's multiple things that I thought. First of all, I feel like this grunge electric guitar is super fitting for more of the dance elements and like really. Hey Polar, welcome. Sorry, this is truly a full house tonight. Welcome everybody. I appreciate your presence. I don't know why I almost had a southern accent again. Okay, the guitar, the electric guitar, is actually such a great fit for the gritty synths that we had in the previous tracks. Like I thought that, because if I recall correctly from her last album, it was very much like it was so cohesive in terms of sound between the tracks. Well, and I say cohesive, kind of on the edge of repetitiveness and repeating the styles a little too often, in my opinion. But this time, it's like it's a perfect match. It's like this dirty guitar fits the dirty synth, and it sounds cohesive while being two completely different instruments. Oh, thank you, Polar. I appreciate it. And so anyway, the track also reminded me of Gwen Stefani a bit in the way that the vocals were mixed, and the way that she delivered it, and the tone that she has, which I'm now getting much of a clearer, like there was definitely one vocal layer, which was the main vocal layer, that was much more forward and less muddled into the mix. And it was clearer to have like a drier sound of her voice, and there's some hints of like Gwen Stefani in there that I feel I was like hearing a little bit, which is really fitting for the sound that we had in this track, which was definitely like kind of like a grunge inspired pop approach, very much with the rock instruments and the rock setup, and yeah, just that was great. I was really vibing. It's once again, it very much sounds like late night messiness, but I like this. It's fun. I like it. And like the melody, it's still playing in my brain. So okay. Oh, this is gonna be fun to revisit after as well. Hold on. It's album of the year so far, and it's not even close. Ooh. Okay, hold on. Let me get through the entire album before I can make any comments about this. I love the album, the last album, but she's really taking it with this one. Been with her since the start, and weirdly proud of her, of how far she's come. I mean, that's the beauty of artistic development and like artistry and growing and honing their vision and like, you know, following any artist and seeing the evolution, right? So that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Please never let a man silence you is so funny. Well, I mean, true, fact, correct. Yes. Okay. But also, just in the context of the chat, that was hilarious. Okay, let's move on to Old Technology, another single, I think. See, this is closer to what I would have typically expected from Slayyyter, but we're not too far away, so it's perfect. What that I'm not prescribed. Damn. Whoa. Wow.
I'm having fun tonight. I'm doing drugs tonight. I'm cranking up all technology. Fuck you critique. Bitch, what do you want from me? I need some peace of mind. I'm doing drugs tonight.
Wow. The EDM with like an electric guitar like that? Okay. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Wow. It's definitely not where I thought we were going with the old technology, but what an experience that is. It's almost like it sounds 90s. It's a bit of, yeah, it's almost like something, it's almost like a throwback, but also the blend between the EDM bass and the guitar like that is also, I feel like something I've almost never heard before, and I'm sure it probably exists somewhere. I just personally have never heard before. Um, but it's that contrast between the grunge element of the 90s and this like dirty EDM, dark EDM from the 2010s merged together as one, that is like such a weird back and forth because it works so well together, whereas it's so different. Um, what a track. Okay, hold on. Lots to process here though. What I'm trying to understand from a lyrical standpoint, first time obviously that I'm reading this, is like the old technology reference, right? Is it, and I might be wrong here, so I'm purely speculating. Are we referring to old technology about the drug consumption, which is very throwback to the 90s, and so it's a reference to that period, and we call it old technology because the rock era was very much like that? Or I'm trying to understand and process the references. I mean, it's I would expect the lyrics to be a little more abstract for Slayyyter, generally speaking. We saw them before as well. It's not so much of like a linear storyline, or it's not so much of like a story that we're telling in the lyrics, but more of a vibe, more of a feeling that we're capturing in her songs. And so this kind of throwback, I mean, she does refer to literally old technology like the iPod, which doesn't exist anymore. But and Tumblr, which is not as popular as it was before. But yeah, just like the old technology is like referring to like the throwing it back, I guess, of partying, maybe an era of partying that was like much stronger before as well. This well, I mean, that's fine, that's okay, that's everybody has their favorites, and not as favorite, part of the process, part of the experience, that is very normal. But yeah, I think maybe it's about performing in that relation to technology, potentially. I'm curious to see what the thinking process behind it was, right? Because we felt maybe like I'm once again probably abstract, but now that I'm rereading the lyrics properly, the whole like bitch look live, I'm doing drugs tonight, the ones that I'm not prescribed. There's, I think, a part of it, it's like the letting go, like we were less attached to technology. Yeah, hold on a minute. prescribed drugs nowadays, right? You think about it, a lot of it might have to do with anxiety and depression. And so by doing drugs that are not prescribed and referring specifically to the drugs that are not prescribed, it's like, let's throw it back to a time, old technology, where people were not so connected on the internet and consumed with the anxiety of living in the modern world and new technology. And so we're throwing it back to like partying like there's no tomorrow, back from when the technology wasn't the same. Might be a reach, but that is sort of my interpretation of it. Anyway, damn. I just had to think about it for a minute. I really just had to like process it for a second there. I told you there was a lot to process with the song. Okay, cool. So that was old technology. Let's move on to the next one. A crank. Not the flag of my message one. I had to allow it literally. Okay, hold on. I'll get back to your messages.
I'm getting tweaky, I'm heading out, bitch, I'm onto something. I stray just like a dog addicted to that heavy fucking. I wanna get on it, jump on and ride it until the morning. I'm leaving this party, it's shit and these bitches boring. Call up your dealer, it's that time of night. Let me get you right, let me get you right. Crank it, Leonard, the speakers do not piss me off. Paris to New York, what you standing for?
Whoa. That's a lyric. Got it. Wow. I feel like I'm way too sober for this. Crazy. I just heard Matthew McConaughey. All right, all right, all right. Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. Superior, 100% with you. I mean, I don't drink Red Bull myself, but it does feel like a track that you need a Red Bull vodka to really feel it. Someone smashed this up with the Julie Garden song. That's so funny. She also sampled Sex in the City, which is a hilarious sample. Wait, where? Was it the all right part? The trolley song. Wow, okay. I gotta say, oh wait, also there's this rock star expectation of doing drugs, alcohol, and making crazy performative moves. I see. It's in the chop vocals. There are so many elements. I mean, in terms of like production, it's like such a complex and intricate and layered production that, to be fair, like picking up, yeah, it's just, there's a lot. You gotta listen to multiple times and really like dig into the song properly. that I had to literally allow both his comment and your comment to, because apparently it flagged it in my comment, so I had to literally allow twice for y'all's messages to show up in the chat. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted. What I meant to say is that my brain went in the recording booth. What was the experience of recording this? Like, do you record this sober? How does that work? Because you really got to commit in the studio. And it does definitely feel like the type of track that you perform when you're under the influence. So my brain was like, how, you know, the moment that you sober up kind of like real quick, right? Some event happens, or like the alcohol like is processed in your system, and you kind of sober up all of a sudden. Like, that's how I feel like recording the song in the booth. It's like going at it, closing your eyes, and all of a sudden the production stops and you open your eyes and you're like, oh, I'm in a recording studio right now. I'm not partying. I'm nowhere close. But I will say this. The track captures the feeling of the after hours party. It's very rave-like, 100%. It's yeah, it captures it. It captures the craziness and the roughness and the wild, like, I crave something and I want it now type of energy after going clubbing. I mean, not my lifestyle, that's for sure. I'm a little more modest than that. But it's definitely like I'm listening to it and I like, it's almost cinematic. I can like see the events happening, and this one had a tad bit more of a storyline to it, in the sense of like it was describing very specific like references to the DJ, to whatever was happening in the elevator, which Slayyyter, you are bold and brave for doing that in an elevator, because I would never engage in anything like that in an elevator. That's wild, especially because most of them have security cameras. I mean, that's not the only reason why I wouldn't do it, but anyway, I'm like, wow, kudos to you, because I could not do it. I hope you get around to the videos at some point. The visuals are so perfect. Had I known that there was a whole visual album, I would have tried to really start earlier tonight to be able to cover that, but I might just keep it for later this week. Or when I come back from my trip. When I come back from my trip, I'm going to have a couple of days off, and there's a couple things that I wanted to cover while I'm off. So we might just get to that then. In the meantime, yeah, what a track. But like, this one had more, to me, like very specific imagery, which I really appreciated, because I could see the things happening almost in real time as a sequence in my brain. And then, yeah, vocally, it's like a mix of everything we've heard before. So very interesting. I'm having a very good experience with this album. I gotta say, it's not typically the sound that I would personally go for, but I can see why people enjoy it and appreciate this. And it does align very much with a certain lifestyle that I'm personally not aligned with, but live your life. Have the best fun you can, however you like determine it and define it, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. Enjoy your life. Okay. All right. Next one. Gas Station. Well, this one might be a little more melodic.
I don't think you ever really liked me.
Ooh.
You love dating and I love to party. Always saying, Miss J, quiet down, can you chill out? Always acted like I wasn't as cool, but all your friends like me much better.
That's true. I agree. You could
You were screaming,
benefit from a little bit of a distraction in the world.
just jump out. I loved you more than anything, and yes, I made mistakes, but you know I would do anything to put a smile on your face, to make a home a nicer place. Was it really for me? When you left me all
Whoa.
gas station.
Ooh.
I was crying out my eyes, all the desperation. I kept looking at my phone, I was hoping you would call, saying sorry that you're on your way back home. Then you left me all alone at the gas station.
Is that what the cover is all about? Are they at a gas station?
You know my mama asks about you sometimes. So sad to say we're living separate lives, yeah. Time is passing me by, but I can't delete you out. I loved you more than anything, and yes, I made mistakes.
I really love that pre-chorus.
To put a smile on your face, to make a home a nicer place. Was it really for me? When you left me all alone at the gas station.
Oh, this is really up my alley.
I was crying out my eyes, all the desperation. I kept looking at my phone, I was hoping you would call, saying sorry that you're on your way back home. Then you left me all alone at the gas station.
I really, really love the ARP in the back. The doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. I obviously don't have the right nose. But yeah. Okay. There's a really interesting phenomenon I feel in the track, and then I'll get to the comments in the chat. Where I feel like when it's a lot more disconnected in terms of topic that she's singing about, we're gonna have a lot more rhythmic, a lot louder, a lot busier sounds. When it's more personal, when it's more emotional and sentimental, we're gonna get more melodic tracks from her and really have more of a wave to it rather than like a beat to it. If that makes any sense. So I feel like this is what's happening, and we have something that's a lot more personal. That is correct. It clearly talks about a relationship that didn't end well. And hold on a minute. The verses in the song are about a relationship, but the chorus is inspired by when she fought with her father and he left her at the gas station. She doesn't speak to her dad anymore. Whoa. Isn't it crazy how you can take like different events in your life and different inspiration and like combine them together to make one track? Sometimes like it makes me think of how Ray was she wrote what was called the track before Lifeboat. I forgot how it's called. Anyway, there's a track that she wrote with her band while she was on tour, and all of the men in the band were saying like how, you know, they don't talk enough about mental health for men, and like how it can be difficult, but because there's like this pride, it doesn't like it's not shed, light is not shed on it as much as like for women, or it's not as comfortable to talk about it. And so they started writing the song together, and then a year down the line maybe, Ray ended up having a friend of hers that was like really struggling specifically, and so it provided the right angle to the lyrical writing to really finish the song and to provide like more oomph, I guess, to it in terms of the topic, the theme, and the lyrics. And so sometimes combining different inspirations like that will provide a complete storyline or a complete topic that really feels cohesive, because different types of relationships, for example, can still have the same themes in them. You can still have the misalignment, the argument, the feelings are similar, the attachment is different, and yeah, the context is different, but the feeling that we feel inside is still potentially the same. So that feeling clearly was aligned to a certain extent between the relationship part in the verses and in the courses with her dad. But also, you know, we're humans. Apples don't fall far let me say that again. Apples don't fall far from the trees, right? So whatever you are, you know, is typically something that you're gonna chase. And so if she had some sort of like specific type of relationship with her dad, if she didn't work through the trauma and the history of it, she might have looked for a partner that had some similar characteristics and sort of relived the same experience. And so there's a parallel psychologically between the experience she had with her dad and the experience that she had with her potential lover. And then, yeah, that's, some of us would call this daddy issues. But what I'm saying is that it's not, it's a force of habit, because we are creatures of habit. And so we tend to look out for things that we feel familiar with. So it's not specifically because of her dad, but so much more because of just a human instinct of finding things that are familiar to us. And because of that, it brings on the same themes of the two different, but in two different contexts. And so it aligns really well in a song. So thank you for sharing that, because that provided a lot of insight into the song. I can see why it's probably part of your top 3, Shipper. It makes a lot of sense. I really, really liked it, especially for the melodic aspect of it. It is very much melancholic. It's like this upbeat, yet like this like sad, these sad lyrics that are being sung. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Are you talking about me having those thoughts that are like clear and decisive? Or just like generally speaking? Oh, me, okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Tonight is I think the nap really did me a solid right before streaming, and like I'm awake now. I don't even need caffeine. Could you imagine if I had caffeine right now? And so I'm just like processing things. Crying in the club. Tease, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. And then, you know what? That relates to the whole feeling of the worst girl in America, right? You're kind of in a shitty place and you feel like the world's falling apart to a certain extent. That's it. From now, the album gets sadder. Great. Cool. Even though the sound tells you otherwise. Okay, cool.
You know, this would be a lot more fun if you subscribed and stuck around for more videos. After all, I am stuck in here. I'm just kidding, I'm not. Or am I? If you're not too sick of me by now, and still want to get to know me better, I'm available on social media. Follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, on Tinder, on Bumble... Wait, wrong crowd. Sorry, my bad. Anyway, you know what I mean.
Let's well, speaking of which, let's jump into the next one. Yes, God.
I'm listening while
Woo.
brain is on standby. Look in your eyes. What's it gonna end like? Have a nice time. You were never loved right. Give a good fight. Stumble in the red light.
Wow.
Never standing on the internet. Sounded so innocent. Why would you wanna say face? Laid them and doing the unthinkable. Make 'em all be my girl. Only have your age.
Wow. 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 I know. I mean, wow. Whoa! We're getting an outro. Wow. Okay, wow. So many thoughts. I agree that the scream of growl underneath, she does that live too, which is insane. Because yes, to your point, Junior, I'm afraid this funny girl will get nodules in her throat. Yeah, that's crazy. She said she's been watching tutorials in, so I think she'll be okay. It is quite the art form to be able to do that live. Like, forget it. I would do it once and I would lose my voice, I think, for the rest of life. So I'm out. But I will say this. Not that I want to keep comparing her music to other artists, but I think here's what I say when I compare. Comparing is very normal. Coming from a marketing perspective, having worked in music marketing in the past, referring to my point that people love familiar things. I mean, some of us love to discover new things, but it's never truly 100% new, right? Oftentimes it's because it refers to something in the past that we don't actively recall, but it's still familiar to a certain extent, whether it's instinctive or whether it's like very conscious. But we love to compare as we love familiarity, and we as humans, we love to say, hey, this is like what I like, this is not what I like, and you know, kind of find familiar things. So that being said, I will defend myself for comparing her once again, but I think it's important. In my personal take, my personal perspective, the beginning of the song really reminded me for a minute of Art Pop by Lady Gaga. Now, if you recall, Zed produced a lot of the songs on Art Pop, and he had a lot of those like very square or sawtooth synths that feel really rough and really edgy. And so we kind of had that, but then it turned into this like screamo, very like almost like what's his name? Not Diplo. Skrillex type of approach in the song, which is like some sort of fusion between, to me, like heavy rock, not heavy rock, more like screamo, death metal avenue, and this like popified electronic element to it. And so anyway, it switched in the middle, and I was like, okay, it was only the beginning. But then by the end, when the tempo increased and it went back to more of a almost like an EDM track, it went back to being like art pop in my perspective of things. So it was really interesting to see that kind of touch and go. But there was definitely a curve in the production, which gave kind of this life to it, of like, it started there, midpoint kind of there, and then came back to this area in the track, which was really, really interesting. I think some people have said this is very justice coded, but I'm not that familiar with them. Me neither. I don't know who we're referring to. She loves Gaga and she aspires for her. I had a feeling that I had heard that before, but obviously art pop is a lot more popified. It's a lot more, it's less rough and less intense than this was. This is darker. This is edgier. Oh yeah, and then the midpoint also made me think a lot of like Geffelstein, I, for the life of me, can never pronounce his name, who coincidentally also produced a couple of tracks on Lady Gaga's Mayhem, especially Abracadabra. Was it Abracadabra? And Disease, I think. The singles at first. Anyway, they're a French electric duo who have lots of rock and disco influences. Oh, I'm gonna have to dive into that a little bit. Interesting. Okay. Thematically, when I read the lyrics, clearly we're getting into more like intimate topics, and it's almost like this. Yeah. It's kind of the surrendering of like, yeah, they're very much like, does he really think that I'm that dumb? And like, whatever. Yes, I don't give a shit anymore type of energy, you know? Which is funny because I just read the lyric, don't give a shit what you do, what you did. So yeah, very much like post argument of like, you know, once you did something bad and now you're going to defend yourself. And Justice produced the first song on The Weeknd's latest album. Oh. I'm going to have to do some more research. There's something that I'm missing there. But it clearly, yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is very much like the aftermath of the argument that we had before, and trying to find some self-forgiveness to a certain extent for letting that person get to that point. So we're getting a bit of a progression in the storyline as well, which I'm not mad at. Okay, let's move on. We are past that midpoint of the album. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tracks left. Next one is Unknown Lovers. Ooh. Okay. Oh, you went back. Oh, no. It's girly pop song. Okay.
Big blue eyes, batting lashes right at you. If you wanna fall for me, I promise I would catch you. Up a pretty picture, yeah, I'm paying that you saw it. I put your record on to dance around my old apartment. It's love, it's love, it's love. I scream to the clouds at the top of my lungs. Love, it's love, it's
It's just so interesting, the contrast between it all.
love, but I never give up.
Thank you for the translation, Junior. Always appreciate it.
He's sterling silver and I'm so gold. I know I'm much hotter, but I prefer them real cold. I really need him
Oh, wow.
like a new accessory. I'd fashion him sitting on the couch right next to me. It's better if you don't say a word. Makes you wanna chase him down more. Better if we live in different worlds. Keep his name carved with a heart in my underwear drawer.
Whoa.
Hold me close, let me know where it's close, whisper
Okay. So we did have more of the party statements at the beginning of the album, and now we're getting into more of the romantic tracks, at least for now. I think it's a great time for this type of track. It's really kind of created the contrast and keep the album interesting at midpoint. So it's a smart decision from like a track listing perspective. Obviously, a lot more straightforward, a lot more poppy than the other tracks, which I really don't mind. Surprisingly, it's funny because to me, like now, the other ones stand out more to me than this because I'm associating Slayyyter with these sounds, and I'm listening to this and I'm like, huh. But it sounds like so different. So I'm just having a really crazy experience right now of like, even though sonically, typically this track would be more up my alley, I'm still like, okay, but if I want Slayyyter, I'm gonna go for the other tracks. Quite the experience that I'm having with this. Now I don't know if from a lyrical standpoint, like it speaks of a potential reconnection or of an actual reconnection. Because it's almost like I'm dancing around in my apartment and you want him to be there, but he's not. So yeah, but they were maybe together. No, I call you from a payphone at the old gas station. And then, but who's rolling cigarettes? Or maybe on the other side. I don't know. To me, it could be like. What I will say though is that this line or these lines, he's sterling silver and I'm so gold. I know I'm much hotter, but I prefer them real cold. The brilliancy of lyricism, because silver is seen as a cold color and gold being a hot color, right? In terms of accessories. And so like when you're buying jewelry, actually, like the pink tones are going to be more suitable for like silver, and the olive skin is going to be a lot more suitable for yellow gold. And so anyway, kind of the whole idea of like the hotter and the cold with the gold and silver makes so much sense. Like when I read it off the bat, I was like, oh, that's a line I really really like. So yeah, that's true. Like anybody can be whoever, to be honest. Like you can play around with sounds. That's the beauty of making music. You don't have to stick in one lane. Not anymore. Delulu anthem, sort of. She always includes a cheesy girly pop song in her albums, which is perfect because sometimes you need that diversity, you need that change up, switch up, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, just it's part of the experience. It's part of the experience. A little like, this is the rhinestone heart of the album. Interesting. Okay, got it. Let's move on to Old Flings. Okay. Oh shit, are we talking about competition? Ooh. Oh, I like this a lot. Oh, wow. Yeah, sure. Okay. Ah, X's. Okay. Sometimes you gotta defend your significant other. I love the combination of the melody of the ad-lib and the staccato. Okay. Damn. You know, yeah, okay, so if she ever comes to Montreal, I'll try to go see her live. If she does. I haven't seen any of her live performances, so I can't even tell, but I'm 100% trusting you guys. So maybe the Coachella, I'll peek into it if I get to the visual album. We'll see, maybe. And yeah, I'm gonna have to look up live to see the performances with the energy of those tracks and everything she's put up before. I'm sure that it just the whole performance aspect must be pretty pretty intense. What does that mean? I mean, apoyo, I know it's like help or support, but apoyo? What does that mean? My bestie had a meet and greet in September, and so just wow, nice. I gotta say, this song is really up my alley. I really loved it. I love the synths in it. I love what I was saying in the track is that I love the combination of the melodic aspect of the high, but the staccato aspect of the something you want to say, but I'm by his side. Thematically, it's really interesting to me because we don't get a lot of those tracks of like, don't touch my man because I'm by his side. Usually, like, especially traditional pop albums are much more about the main two characters, so like the breakup and the fight, and sometimes there are references to an ex, but oh, that you support my idea. Thank you. Appreciate it. But in that light of like an ex coming back, that I feel like we don't talk enough about, because those creepy little exes tend to sneak back up and mess things up. Mind you, I haven't had that personal experience in, well, ever, except one time, sort of. Anyway, besides the point. So yeah, just I love her vocals on this one. I love the production on it. I think it's really catchy. I love the, even though it's a little tad repetitive at the end, but there was a switch up in the production which kept it interesting, where some of the elements I think were cut out for a little while. So yeah, just it's probably going to be, you know, closer to the top in my opinion, but that's really just on a personal basis. It's not because it's arguably better than the other tracks, it's just it's more aligned with my personal taste. Got it. Okay, I see the rhyme. Perfect. I'm not sure if anything here is a direct reference, but she did say she found out her boyfriend was cheating on her while she was making it. I wonder if we're gonna maybe have tracks in just a tad that might address that, potentially. And he was a DJ. That makes a lot of sense with all the other tracks from before that reference a DJ. And I mean, girl, between you and I, Slayyyter? A DJ, really? Aren't we all aware that dating a DJ is always a bad idea? Like, I feel it's been brought up time and time over again. Like, the people you don't want to date are DJs. She switched up the lyrics on the next song, Coachella. Okay. I'll tell you something about her ex-boyfriend in the next track. Okay. You know what? Let's get into it. Let's move on to I'm Actually Kind of Famous. Okay.
You think I see you? You think I care about you? You think you strike some kind of nerve, do ya? Oh, you know the DJ?
Uh-oh.
She knows the DJ.
Oh, she knows the DJ.
You know the owner, right? Oh, you know my boyfriend. Do you know me from somewhere?
Oh, shit. Okay.
Kind of famous.
Whoa.
I'm actually kind of famous. I'm actually kind of famous. I'm actually kind of famous. Yeah, I'm actually kind of famous. I'm actually kind of famous.
Wow. That has two meanings to it.
I think you're having auditory hallucinations. Because I never
Potentially.
said that. I said I'm actually kind of famous.
Damn.
I'm actually kind of famous.
Whoa.
Actually kind of famous. I didn't step on the train and then take a mean mug in the club by some ugly bitches.
Okay.
You and your Chanel bag. Did Daddy buy you that for Christmas? That's real nice.
You know what? I feel like it talks about the same. Well, no, not necessarily the same person, because now I'm thinking about it and there are differences. But what's a track by Charlie XCX on Brat that talks about this girl that has a chain, like like there's a line that talks about like fingering the chain or something like that, and she's kind of famous. And anyway, it feels like it's the same energy, same like talking about this, like referring to this like attitude, right? This energy of like almost kind of famous. Not almost, kind of famous. I'm actually kind of famous. Anyway, Very Mean Girls. I see it. I definitely see it. So she changed the lyrics from "You know my boyfriend" to "You fucked with my ex-boyfriend." But that's why I was about to say, like, what's really interesting, DJs and rappers. Thank you, Anon. I was missing the other part. Don't date DJs and rappers. Okay, thanks. So you think I see you, you think I care about you is like this, almost like this acknowledgement that there's like this girl, whether it's the ex or somebody new, that's running after her boyfriend. And she's like, but it's like this other person who's running after her boyfriend doesn't know that he's in a relationship, which between you and I, isn't that the man's responsibility to make it clear what the boundaries are? I'm just going to speak some truth. So that being said, she's like, it's almost like you can imagine the scene at the bar. She shows up on her by her side, and she like sees her, and she starts talking, and she's like, and she saw them flirting before, right? And she's like, yeah, you know that guy, yeah, like everybody talks about him, and the girl's like, yeah, well, he's great, he's fantastic, and she goes, yeah, the owner, he's my guy. Get the fuck away from him. Almost like trapping her in that. So I can like fully imagine the scene happening. And this is where if I still edited videos, I would have a whole edit with me in a bar. I would cut myself out. I would put myself in a bar type of mood with the lights and just like on the counter and doing that. But that being said, yeah, men's responsibility, period. Anyway, thank you. Actually Kind of Famous does stand on two different levels. She's actually kind of famous because Slayyyter is literally actually kind of famous. And also, she's kind of famous because everybody else knows that she's dating the DJ. So people know, people talk, and that's why she's kind of famous. She has that connection, that attachment, and that awareness in whatever environment that people are in. And so the one person going after her boyfriend is just not catching it, right? That's why it's actually kind of famous, because everybody else knows, but I'm not famous enough for everybody to know. Anyway, and I also like this incident. Yeah. Anyway, that's my interpretation of it. She went against Daddy's girl. Well, she defended her territory, as some might say it. Although, once again, the man, the DJ, should have made the boundaries very clear, because he, if the other, unless like the other person was like 100% delusional, which could happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but in most cases, if the boundaries were clear and communicated, and he told that other person off, this situation would not happen in the first place. So, it was my life lesson of the day. Next track, Saint Loser. I have a feeling I know what we're going to talk about. Ooh, the padding of the vocals. Hey. Whoa. Call back to the first track. Wow. Whoa. That's the recession indicator line. Got it.
Every single day I think about you. Do you think about
Oh, okay. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, definitely. I see those themes in the song and like immediately notice it. Which before I get into the song, I will just mention this. Guys, do you appreciate the no ads on the stream? I turned it off, guys. So I haven't heard a complaint about ads so far, and I just want to say, you're welcome. Sorry, it's a thought that crossed my mind. So yes, okay, definitely the song explores the themes of obsession, insecurity, and resentment within a relationship. I think about you in the bad way, but here's what I'm gonna say. Yes, that was a part of what I was going to say. That's why there's repetitiveness, right? It's the obsession. It's like the thought that keep coming back. It's the toxicity of it all that makes you trapped in this like mental prison of always thinking about the situation. Now, what I will also say is that it sounds almost like a 911 call. The dirtiness and the base of it and the alarm sounds that we have is almost like a cry for help in a 911 fashion. So it's like you're so obsessed with it and it's killing you inside that it's almost like a call for help. So the very the production of the track is very much aligned, in my opinion, with the theme of the lyrics and what she's saying, right? It's like I'm so mad at you and it's taking all of me, all of my energy, it's consuming me. Help, I'm stuck in this prison of always thinking about you. But it's hidden in, she'll never acknowledge it per se. What she'll say is, I think about you, I think about you, I think about you. So she'll not acknowledge the first degree, but she'll never acknowledge the second degree, which is I'm stuck in this and I'm feeling like shit about this, right? So yeah, okay, so that was like a very smart approach to the production of the song to really support what the track is all about. And then this line of like, if kids are bumping my shit, that's a recession indicator, which is funny because it reminds me of Kesha, like recession music when she was really releasing Hippie IK. Yippee Hike? Did I inverse the syllables? Anyway, that track. And people were like, well, if you're listening to this is kind of a music recession indicator. So that's a very nice, funny line. There's a few like moments like these which have a bit of humor in her lyrics, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, okay, she did a Vivo session for Miss Belladonna. That's worth a listen. Yeah, Miss Belladonna was part of her previous album, right? Yeah. What I love about the about English is that tú and ustedes are spelled the same as in you, right? So you can talk about a person or about us, right? Which is the same idea with French, actually. There's a difference between vous et tu, and I just said et in French, but anyway, same idea. So I completely understand what you mean. We have a differentiation in French as well. It was, but she really showed off her voice there, and I think it's gotten better since then. Well, I'm gonna have to discover her live as an artist as well. Like, to be fair, other than listening to one time to the Star Effer album, I've seen snippets of interviews, but I've never actually consumed her performances or like her music properly. And obviously I'm going to be posting this on the channel after I stream it, so like it's nice that I'm actually actively listening to it. But I think this so far, to me, if I compare it to my experience or what I recall about my experience of listening to Star Effer, is that to me, it's really a step up from the previous project. And now I'm like really feeling like, okay, this is like, now's the right time to really pay attention to her projects. Like there's sometimes a bit of a development process in the artistry of an artist that you're like, it's cute at the, like, I'll give you an example. Sabrina Carpenter, for her first 5 albums, they're cute, they're nice, but they aren't what she became afterwards. And I got interested in Sabrina at the moment that she started releasing Emails I Can't Stand. And there was a step up from the previous project that she had released. And I don't remember which one it was, if it was Singular Act 2 or another one. But anyway, my point being is that now I'm like, okay, now's really the right time to get into Slayyyter and start really following her career. So this album definitely proves that it's the right timing for it, at least. Hey, Bear Chaser, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? We are listening to Slayyyter tonight. Shipper, this is her Brat, in my opinion. Loved everything she's done, but this is the culmination of it all. Respectfully, I will disagree. Charli XCX has a bit more of a history, and I feel like Worst Girl in America is the beginning of her, like, really, like, her accelerated phase of her artist journey, which, in my opinion, for Charli, that would be comparable, I think, to what was that? Not Pop 2, the album that came after. Hold on a minute. Hold on. I know I should have looked directly into YouTube Music, because Brat was like the epitome of commercial success, which I don't think Slayyyter has reached yet. So if I really compare it to Charli XCX, I feel like a very determining album that she released in her career that really, from that point on, really escalated would have been her album Charli that came out in 2019. That was really like an album that really kind of put her on the map at the crossroad of electronic music and pop music, and paved the way to what came after. Yes, yeah, exactly. So I think that there's a lot more to come from Slayyyter, and we're gonna have greater successes in terms of commerciality, but we're really at the beginning of that journey. So I wouldn't compare this to her Brat just yet, if that makes sense. Because Charli has been many years in making. Like, she started a little while ago, like 20 years ago. So for her to finally reach the Brat status is like something that took a lot of work to get to. But Slayyyter's not there yet. She probably will be. She will get to the point at some point. But I think we're really getting it. True. And there's an honesty here, as with Brat, we didn't quite have before. Yeah, there's like a very like brutal honesty with it, which anyway, all this to say that, well, we're gonna continue exploring and following her journey for Slayyyter, and I'm gonna be there as well for the next projects, definitely. I'm speaking about EDM, and I'm enjoying this album. So am I. I'm really having a great time with it. That being said, let's continue. She hasn't earned her flowers yet. Yeah, they're coming. I'm pretty sure at the rate that I'm seeing this going, they're coming. Okay, let's move on to what it is like to be liked. Damn. Not a DUI. Oh, got it. Interesting. Even the vocal production is so different. Oh, okay. Oh, right. The comparisons, right? I will agree with you, Bear. I do like it as well, quite a lot. I will say it's simpler than the other productions that we've had on the album, which is fair. That's okay. The how can I say it? Okay, there are two different takes on this theme of what it is like to be liked in the context of the album and what the tracks that we've heard before. To me, there's an appeal to where, oh, it's definitely more of a catchy pop leading song, pop electro pop song. There's almost like a callback to this, like, what's it like to be liked, and I want your attention from the X. But at the same time, I need a distraction, so I'm gonna head back to performing on stage, to giving it my all in the music to distract myself from the attention that I'm not getting from my ex and get attention from the public audience instead. So I don't know if the original version had that meaning, but I will say that in the context of the album, that's sort of like how I take it, right? It's like, it's almost like a feel good, like I'm trying to get my mind off of all the shitty things that have happened to me in my relationship, which I'm gonna be real honest with y'all. I'm the type of person that my mom loves to make a joke out of it. She says that my brother and I, we both have really great going professional careers, but when it comes to love, oh boy, do we have a hard time. And so I am 100% the type of person to, like, if things are going to shit in my personal life, I will focus on my hobbies and on my career to compensate for it. Is that the healthiest approach? Maybe not. That's okay. That's for me to work through in therapy. I'll get back to you with an update on that one. But it's sort of the same thing. And it's funny because there was a line where she referred to I need to get a new hobby, and it kind of confirmed that in a way of, like, I need to hold on, where was it? Where's the line about the new hobby? Oh yeah, okay. Fuck all the parties, I'm still nobody. I need a new hobby. All that they can see in me is a cheaper copy, which that line crazy as well. Because of the whole comparison conversation, which is funny because it's almost like a commentary on what I was saying before, in real time. But yeah, I'm just the whole, like, I need a new hobby is like, or I need I wish I lived a different life is a whole, like, I need a distraction. Like, I'm desperate for a distraction at the moment because whatever is going through my mind behind the scenes that I'm not necessarily talking about up front, which we sort of did see before, right? That second layer that that we referred to. I need something to change my mind up. But I like the production on it. Yeah, it was a nice pop leaning song, is the right term. And the last verse is a new addition. To be fair, I don't recall the track from before, so I can't even compare side by side. But overall, I really had a good experience with it. Which now brings us to prayer. Whoops. Okay, it's more of like an interlude. That's why there's the asterisk.
Lord, grant that I may seek to comfort rather than be comforted, to understand rather than be understood, to love and be loved.
Ah, yeah.
By self-forgetting that one finds. It is by forgiving that one is forgiven. It is by dying that one awakens to eternal life. Amen.
Interesting. Whoa, the transition.
Me beautiful. That sentiment probably ain't true at all. Tell them I was such a funny girl. Annoyance probably a better word. You should tell them I was everything. Made the winters feel like spring. You should say I was incredible.
Yeah, the whole like giving back feeling.
Wouldn't be a lie at all. Blonde curls, big eyes like Brittany, superstar girl, ballerina, twirling, make them all know I was great till I crashed out.
Yeah.
Please forgive me for all my actions.
Whoa.
Found the best that I tried to hide my past in. Yeah, help myself to these
Mhm.
little habits. Stumble asking about, so where's my jacket? Do you know
Yeah, going out, drugs and whatnot, right? I really like this track.
I am sorry for the gun inside my bedroom drawer? This was inevitable. Only thought it'd make you love me more. Say that I am in a better place. When you see my mother's face, please just tell them all I did my best. When you lay it all to rest.
Yeah.
Father, please forgive me for all my actions. Said the ways that you couldn't even imagine. Yeah, lucky struck if I roll some lucky sevens. Tweaking, asking them where's my fucking jacket? Do you notice all I've done?
Right. Yeah, referring to everything she gave back and learned about, like the work she's put in.
It's the season, bitch, time to hunt some rabbit. My picture on the page, you'll stay staring at it. Is my face too disgusting for open casket?
Wow.
Make sure they got red roses, I'm old fashioned. Make sure you book a good band to get it cracking. Too busy to hang next week, so quit asking. And I'm sorry.
Wow. Whoa. Okay. Hold on. What I kind of concluded from this track is that throughout the album, there's been a little bit of a metaphor between the relationship and going out the party, in the sense of, because the person that she dated was a DJ, there's like this whole idea that you enter the party for the fun and the big feelings at the beginning, the same way that you entered Oh, hold on. You entered the relationship for the big fun and the big feelings the same way you entered the party for all of the big, like, trashy elements of, like, just freeing it all. The same feeling that you have entering a party and going clubbing can be, like, reflected in the whole, like, infatuation phase of a relationship. And so by having that last line, I'm sorry I left the party, is a metaphor between sorry I left the relationship and sorry I left the party. That's how we conclude the storyline. So the whole album, we've been living on two different layers of the relationship, or the party kind of on top, because that's been the theme of the album, but the meaning of it is really the relationship and the ups and downs of it. And so when you're, and I mean, the fact that she was dating a DJ makes a lot of sense for that metaphor, like I said. So at the end, especially after the prayer that we had, is very much like, look at everything I've given to this relationship. Have you noticed what I've done? Have you noticed that I've tried to take a broken man and put the pieces back together, that I tried to fight off the demons, aka the ex that came back in a portrait, and like I really tried my best to make it work, but at the end it's like all the damage that I caused to myself, all the ways that I had to distract myself from all the pain that I lived, was a self-destructive behavior. And that's why, like, the lines such as, like, is my face too ugly for open casket is, like, very significant to me, because it's like, after all the damage that I took from this relationship, is it too ugly for me to open up again? It is, I think it's layered, actually, Junior. I think it's layered. It's not explicitly about the relationship, but it's about the closing of that chapter of her life. And obviously aligned with the whole commentary. Like, I mean, this goes without saying, the whole commentary on stardom and the effects of, like, drug use. And I mean, the reference to Brittany Murphy, generally speaking, is like the whole catastrophe that was the end of her life, right? Where she was such a promising actress, and I think she did pass from an overdose. I might be wrong about this, but I think that's what I can remember. So there's a bit of a metaphor, but it's almost like I killed myself in the process of trying to make things better and compensate with self-destructive behavior because of a story that happened to me, where it's like both the alignment of the factors of, like, stardom and the relationship that happened. So it's kind of tying the bow to the entire journey of the album. I could be wrong, but yeah. The song has a period at the end because it has, hold on, a period because it was going to be her last song, because the song talks about not having recognition in music, and that frustrates her and makes her feel very sad. She was going to make her last song because she was thinking of retiring and possibly killing herself. I mean, very possible. This is kind of the interpretation that I have in the context of the album, but that also makes a lot of sense. And you know what? Drawing that line between Brittany Murphy and this is one of the layers, definitely, that we can read from this lyric, or the song. But for sure, it definitely, the idea could have started from there. And like 70% of the song could come from this idea and this inspiration, and then like 10% comes from this, and 10% comes from that. And yeah, quitting the party is definitely the metaphor for, like, abandoning life as we know it. I mean, I'm seeing it from, like, trying to see it from a cohesive standpoint in terms of the entire album. But definitely, like, that makes a lot of sense as well. Oh, she said it in an interview. Well, yeah, but here's the thing. So I'll be, having worked in the music industry before, like, what you decide, and that's PR training. You choose what you decide to put out. It doesn't mean that it's the entire truth. And I think a lot of people forget that. A lot of people want to keep some things private. So you might say, like, this song is about this and that, but they've already prepared the answer in their minds ahead of time based on what they decided they wanted to reveal. So I'm not saying that what I'm saying is the absolute truth. It's purely my artistic interpretation of the track and the entire body of work as a whole. And it serves, Brittany Murphy, the song Brittany Murphy serves as a nice ending to wrap this like storyline up. But yeah, definitely. I mean, the upfront topic, the very direct theme of the song is what you described, which she I mean, if she opened up about it, that's very interesting as well. There was one extra track she dropped as part of the upcoming deluxe, but I don't think it's necessary. If anything, I'll wait for the deluxe to react to it when it comes out, and I'll be able to address those songs when they come out all together. This is the beauty of reacting to a whole album rather than like separate singles. And that's why I have a lot more fun, because I can like tie things together. I really have a overall like journey. And that's why I like deluxe albums, when I'm able to react to multiple songs and not just one. It's a lot more fun to me as well. But yeah. Oh, hold on. I'm having a bit of a hard time translating in my brain with the whole experience that I've had. So, Junior, your question is that you want me to figure out your favorite song? Is that what you're saying? She did give track by track notes at some point, which was some nice insight. Yeah, exactly. It's nice insight, but it doesn't mean it reveals 100% of where the track comes from, because the whole songwriting process, but versus the marketing of it, the PR of it, is two different experiences, and people sometimes forget about that. A lot of artists are going through things in their personal life that they infuse in their music, but it doesn't mean that they share it necessarily. And they might share like a PR safe version of a description of a song and their feelings and the idea behind it, but it doesn't mean that they like doesn't mean it's the entire inspiration. I said, how healthy is that? Is it that this song? Oh, okay, Sano, salty. Okay, got it. How healthy is that? Is it that this song is my favorite? To be fair, it sounds great. So from a sonic perspective, makes a lot of sense, and I think that people relate to depth. People appreciate, especially those who are more artistic leaning, appreciate deeper meaning. And it's not because you actually live the experience yourself that you like the song. It can also mean that you appreciate the work and what's been put into the song from the artist, and you're like, you look at it as like, it's almost like I'm using this often as a comparison, is like a piece of like a painting. You look at the painting and it's very dramatic or very violent, and you're like, I've never lived this, but I appreciate the time and the quality that this embodies, that it took to create it, that the thinking process behind it. It's almost like very aligned with psychology. It's like trying to understand people. Some people, especially more the empathetic people, really are fascinated by how other people's minds work. And so we are naturally curious, and we appreciate having answers to that. And so we have a tendency of appreciating deeper meaning altogether. It's not because you lived it, and it's not because you're going to live it. It's just because you appreciate the art for what it is truly, and not just a surface level, which is, it's a nice beat. So it doesn't mean that it's not healthy. It just means that you appreciate art, in my opinion. But the real person who knows the answer to this is yourself. So she did talk about going into this kind of ready to throw in the towel, but it feels so her, and really the crystallization of everything she's done so far. I love it. You know what? I will say that, much like breakups and the hardships of this world, sorry, I had a thought, and my mind went blank. Desperation usually calls for better art. Like the stronger the feelings, the better the output. And it sucks that we have to go through those phases to be able to put out that stuff. But, you know, and not that I'm anywhere close to being a great comparison to this, but I started this YouTube channel out of frustration that the record label where I worked in marketing did not grant me the role and the voice that I thought I would have in creative direction and artist branding that I wish I would have had. And I had so many thoughts and ideas that I decided, hey, let me turn around and have this creative output and put in this work and build this like channel of mine. And so it's people who are able to turn those negative feelings and experiences into pieces of art is kind of like that crystallization, right? It's some of the worst moments in life have the biggest comebacks and the biggest highs after. And so that's maybe what happened as well in this chapter of her life. And it might not be the last time that she faces that. But that's the journey of life, honestly. I'm a very lyrics-oriented person, but also am I, as you can tell. I also wrote a song about my death, but it won't be released for 10 years, so please don't die. I'll do my best. I will do my best. Life goes in ways that we don't plan sometimes, but you know what? As long as I can, I'll stick around. Also take care of your ear so you don't go deaf and can hear the song. Okay, I'll be proactive about that. Yeah. Okay, so that was Worst Girl in America, and honestly, quite the experience. I really enjoyed what I listened to. Is it 100% like instinctively the music I would go to listen to on a regular basis? On a personal note, not necessarily, but I definitely enjoyed my experience with the entire album, and there are tracks that I will definitely go back to listen to again. There are some of them that really stand out for me, and it's going to be quite the process to put together the ranking for the track list. So anyway, I'll be putting out this video a little later this week. And yeah, we just overall had a great experience with Slayyyter's Worst Girl in America. Now I might have to go back and listen to her old projects again. But one thing's for sure, I'm going to, from this point on, keep an eye on her career, and very happy for the deserved success that Slayyyter has now. That was the Worst Girl in America. In the meantime, somebody said that I should be listening to this Gimme More remix. So you're here. Okay, let's go. We're going to listen to this. Wow. Okay. Okay. Hey, okay. Wow. Uh-huh. I love the melodies.
Gucci heels so high, I'm falling. Oprah bitch, now bitch, I'm ballin'. I got jets and private islands. You got box, bitch, I got diamonds. With my Benz without a license.
Very interesting. I think that it was a great addition. It's funny because it's, you know, sometimes features work that way in the sense of like the whole song is put together and then it'll be sent to someone to write onto it and add to it. And they're going to be like, hey, want a feature? Write your own verse on it. And it's you got to rework the entire product to fit this line. And it makes a lot of sense. Like, give me more. She twisted the meaning into a very materialistic approach, right? It's like, give me more bags, give me more like designer stuff. So it works really well conceptually, and the mixing is really nice. I'm surprised. Like usually like a remix like that, like the I feel like the mixing would be complicated to do, but it really worked super well. Like the vocal mixing was really well done. Yeah, it's almost like I wouldn't say like freestyle, but it's almost like that of just like different portions that have different flows, different melodies to them. But it works really, really well. Nice, nice. Huh. You're still here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little surprised. I guess you're really, really patient. Or weird. I don't know which one I prefer. Anyway. Enjoy. Wow, I had such a great time reacting to this project. At least, I certainly hope I did. I wouldn't know. Be careful what you say in the comments. I'm known to be a little feisty over there. After all, I am an Aries. You've been warned. If I misspoke during the video, I blame that on the fact that English is not my mother tongue. I've only spoken English since I was like 7. It's not my fault if my parents chose to teach me French first. Do you think I stole this concept from Sabrina Carpenter's Short and Sweet tour? Of course I didn't. I only sampled it, pitched it down, and filtered it to make it more my style. You know what? Careful, Ava Max. I am coming for your Sampling Queen title. Was that too much?